So this is for my dear friend Kimber. She wanted to know real quick how to make voxels touch the wall and the floor and be smaller than one voxel without causing this, basically. And last night I did not give good examples because I did not have the method that Zulji showed me directly after the stream. Before I would have to use different shapes in order to pull it off that I'd have to have pre-made, and this is a way to do it quick and dirty on the fly. So again, we're trying to make it not do this. As you can see, it's puckered up, made like a little nipple right there. Yep, I said it. And the way you make this little doodad right here, it's called a microvoxel. So you select a regular voxel and hit it with the smooth tool like 2 times. If you do it more than that, it goes ridiculously small, and it's just difficult to see, and past that it's like, oh my gosh, where'd it go? And the funny thing is, even though I can't see it, I know it's still there, and actually it's also deforming the air around it. Even though the air is invisible, it is pulling all the air around it. So let's make it not so tiny. We'll go with that size. And here's how you would connect it. First, you're going to take a bunch of voxels, stack them like that, and then just in the middle you're going to blast it with the smooth tool a couple times. I'm going to select out of there. If you hold your selection box over this, you copy paste it out, you can see that it almost completely fills the voxel selection cube. Sticks out a little bit on top, so a little air on the bottom. So because of that, I know that what's going to happen is anything it touches is going to try to fill this gap here. It's going to pull up a little bit or deform. And it's going to reduce deformation up here on the top because the game engine sees this as filling voxels in nearby space. So let's see if there's one that's more solidly in the voxel box. The more it fills the selection completely, the less deformation you get. So you see it's bending in the voxel mesh that it's sitting on, the grid here, that all the voxels around it form a mesh, and it's bending them inward. Don't look at this, that's not what I'm talking about, the pattern. The pattern's not relevant. I'm talking about how if you look along the side of the wall, let's do it from the other angle, you can see it's slightly curving in. So let's try putting it from the other direction. And to do that, I would go on the blue axis and press V to mirror it, and then the pointy, thinner end will be touching the wall instead. It seems to be sitting flat. Flat enough. It's not deforming the mesh around it in any kind of significant way. You can see the difference. There's lines here where you can see it's kind of twisting the mesh and pushing it down, or I guess in our direction out, so we're facing the wall. And over here, there's probably a very small amount of space between the voxel I put down or connected to it and the wall, but I can't see it, so it's good enough for me. So if I had a structure made out of teensy little guys like this, I'll just make a quick box so we can connect it to the floor. If I had this guy and I wanted to touch him to the floor, let me show you what will happen. See all kinds of craziness happens right there. So I'll take that piece I just made by smoothing the string of voxels sitting together in a row, make a base. The reason I'm selecting it is you can see if it's pulling the ground up by whether or not it's white within the selection area. Here's what I mean. See how that part's white? That's extending up above the selection surface. I've never done this before, so let's see if it works. Go into tweak mode with shift left click so I can see if I have it touching where I want it to go. Looks like it's sitting on top of the legs I put down. And that is how you touch a microvoxel to the floor without deforming it. You just have to put a shape in between, and now you know how to make the shape on the fly at any size you want. Let's do it again just with one, and I'll color them a different color. So there's the base I made out of this area. I just smoothed that out of a series of voxels stacked on top of each other. Now I'm going to attempt to line a voxel up on top of it, but my perspective is terrible. There you go. So there's the microvoxel sitting on top and the shape I made beneath it. Hope that helps.